Hey YouTube, I am back. Yes, I am here to do the video review for the Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 5, Episode 5, titled The Errand Boy. And y'all already know who the Errand Boy is, who is the only person in the show that takes orders from any and everybody. Benny. Okay, anywho, but before I jump into that, of course, I want to remind you all, subscribe. I am on my road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to all my returning subscribers. I love you. And if you're a new subscriber, it's your first time, check that box, subscribe. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, before I get into the review, this was not my favorite episode, okay? I felt like a lot of time was wasted. But, whatever. There was some good gems in this episode, should I say. Which, is that a pun intended or what? Okay, anywho, let's just move on. Okay, so the episode starts off with David inside of the police station. At this point, he is pissed off to the highest level of festivity because he has been waiting all night long to go see his son, not as a visitor, but as his attorney. And this is quite ridiculous that the DA's office is still not allowing him to go in there. So, of course, he goes and complains to the police officer at the front desk. Well, perfect timing, Detective George, who is building a case against the Criers and the Harringtons right now, he comes on out like, hey, David, what's the problem? Oh, okay, no problem. We can get you back there. And then has the police officer walking back there. And I'm like, George, you've been there. Like, you could have been done that. Okay, so whatever. So next thing you know, before David gets back there, we go to the interrogation room with what is his name? Jeffrey and Justin. JJ. Okay. So JJ is in the interrogation room, but Jeffrey is like laying down with handcuffs on behind his back, and he is laying on the table like he fell asleep. Now remember, last episode, Justin put like Jeffrey in a chokehold. And remember, I said, I don't know if he's trying to kill him or if he's putting him to sleep. Clearly, he put him to sleep. He's like, look, I just want you to know that this is serious. This is not a game, okay? You need to listen to me. You're going to be with me. And Jeffrey is like, dude, you're nuts. Take me back to my cell now. And he was like, look, I can be as crazy as you make me, and you're making me crazy, okay? This is what Justin is saying. I've sacrificed so much for you. I don't even have my marriage anymore at this point. And Jeffrey is like, that's not my problem. So Justin was like, well, it takes two to tango. What? Is it your mom's fault? Like what? And I'm like, everybody plays a part in this, okay? So whatever. But Justin, ever since he got with Jeffrey, he was not concerned about his wife at all. So whatever the case, then they start going back and forth. Like Justin is like throwing little like dabs at Jeffrey because he's mad because Jeffrey doesn't want him in this moment. And Jeffrey is like, I need you to take me back to my cell and don't ever speak to me again. And then then Jeffrey says, are you the reason why my mom got into that accident? And he's like, I don't know. He never came straight out and said it, but he basically admitted in that scene that he was the reason for her accident. Okay, so he basically says, you're stuck with me. Like, I showed you crazy. I can get crazier. Don't make me be like this. I just want to be with you. So then he pins him up against the wall because he's so frustrated. Next thing you know, perfect timing, David finally walks in. And David is like, what is going on? Like, let him go. So this is when Justin backs off of him. He claims the prisoner, being Jeffrey, is being rough. He's being aggressive. So that is why I had him up against the wall. So Jeffrey, in this moment, I didn't understand, like, why is Jeffrey defending him? And he's agreeing, like, yeah, Dad, I was just being rough with him. Just lying. And even David is looking at him like, no, you shut up. Like, I know you weren't being rough with him. Like, you're not even that type of person. First of all, sir, give me your name and your badge number because you're about to get handled because this is ridiculous. But Jeffrey is like, no. Like, I was being rough. We don't have to go that far. Dad, I got this. And David is looking at him like, what is the problem? Wait, isn't this a police officer that came over to my house? And why are y'all on a first name basis? What is the deal? Like, what is going on? And then finally, they dismiss him because Jeffrey's not going to go into any more detail at this point while Justin is still in the room. So Justin leaves out of the interrogation room. From my understanding of it, I think that Jeffrey realizes just how crazy Justin can be and how he wants to get rid of Wyatt. He got his mom into the car accident. He doesn't care about his marriage, family, kids, nothing. He's already searching for an apartment for them. Clearly, Justin is like off his rocker right now, okay? So he knows, let me just try to keep him and my dad on decent terms because I really do love my dad and I don't want him to try to kill my dad. Especially because Justin knows where David lives now. So that was a smart move on Jeffrey's part, if that is his reasoning. Whatever the case, him and his dad are finally in the room by themselves. He basically tells him how he got into that position, what his mother did, and showing the tape in court to the judge that was Justin's wife. From him saying that, of course, he had to explain, like, you know, him and Justin's relationship, how, like, he said he likes him. Right now, he doesn't like him, but other times he likes him. And I'm like, Jeffrey, you're playing with fire, okay? But in this moment, he basically admits, like, he has real feelings for him at times. So, whatever. They briefly discuss the accident with Veronica because neither one of them knows what happened, if she's okay, and really don't even care at this point. Even David says, you're the most important person to me in this moment right now, and I'm going to get you out of here. Okay, but then David made sure, like, do you need help dealing with Justin? Because if you need help, I can help you. Jeffrey is like, no, just let him calm down. I know him well. I got this. So he's like, okay, son, I just want you to know that I really love you. Like, and it was really touching in this moment because Jeffrey was not covering up. He was like being his true, authentic self. And he was just like telling his dad literally everything, no matter like how he thought his dad was going to take it. And his dad was like, okay, so I'm not going to punish you like your mother would. Like, I'm still going to love you and I'm going to get you out of this situation. Okay. So, good stuff. So, moving on from that, we have Mitch and Benny. So, they're walking into the hospital because remember, Mitch is taking Benny to the hospital to go see Veronica because she requested that Benny come up there. So, of course, he's pretending like he's going to walk into the room with him. And Benny's like, dude, you didn't even need to come inside. I just needed you to drop me off here. Whatever. Mitch is excited because he feels like Benny is about to hit the jackpot with Veronica, not realizing how crazy she is. So Benny walks into the room. He talks to Veronica. She is like so excited to see him. Like seriously, she's like sitting up there like a little schoolgirl. Like, hi Benny, and thank you so much for coming. And you know what you did for me. I'm so happy. I don't know any way that I could repay you. I feel like my own husband wouldn't have done that or my son wouldn't have done that. And of course, like Benny is thinking the same thing as me. Like, look, they might have thought twice about it, but they would have saved you from that situation. She's like, I really don't know. And then so Benny says, well, look, I'm going to be honest with you. You do have a way of just driving people crazy, like driving people insane. She's like, what? Like, you're not trying to be flirtatious. And he's like, no, to be totally honest, like you're a control freak. She's like, yeah, but I can't control you. He was like, yeah, I'm glad you finally caught on to that. You definitely can't control me. She's like, that's kind of like what I like about you. And side note, I've always said that, like, women that have, like, type A personalities that are extremely dominant, they do not want someone with, like, a type B personality who they can just, like, run all over. Like, they want somebody who is going to challenge them and be like, no, this is not what's going down. I'm taking control of the situation, and this is how we're moving forward. Just side note, that's the type of person that Veronica is. And this is why she walks all over David and she doesn't really respect him. but she respects young Benny. So they start going back and forth, and she apologizes for the stuff she said to him in the past, specifically about lying about how he wasn't good in bed because he really was, and all this and that, just trying to like flirt and stuff. Then she says, is there anything I can do to repay you? He's like, nah, you're good. And she's like, are you sure? I'm sure there has to be something. He was like, no, but if I think of something, I'll let you know. She was like, okay, well, let's count it as an IOU. But in the meantime, do you mind doing me a favor? He's like, sure. What do you want me to do? She's like, well, they're going to keep me here for a couple of days. So if you could go to my house, please. Here's my keys. Here's the code. If you can go into my closet and get my Monday bag and my Tuesday bag so I can look like something in here, that would be great. And he's like, look, sure. She's like, hey, while you're at it, can you check on my house? Because I have a house guest there. And he's like, that girl that was at the scene of the accident, the scene of the crime, accident, y'all know what I'm talking about. And she's like, yes, that is my son's fiance. And he's like, isn't your son gay? She's like, no, he's not gay. I'm like, Veronica is still in denial, but whatever. And so he's like, I could have swore he was gay because the dude tried to kiss me before, or he did kiss me. Like, I walked into his apartment. If y'all remember that from a few seasons ago, he thought that Benny was like some like blind date that Candice set up to go and meet him at his apartment, when really Benny was coming there looking for Candice. But since he thought Benny was a blind date, he was just like, what the heck? Let me just go all out. And like he tried to like embrace him and kiss him. So that is what Benny is remembering. She's like, oh my gosh, he did that? Oh, well, you should have slapped him. What did you do? Because he had no business kissing a man. And he's like, I mean, like I was caught off guard. Like I roughed him up a little bit, but like I'm pretty sure like this, I'm confused why he has a fiance that's a woman. And he's like, no, trust me, it's not him, it's her. The girl is crazy. Yeah, okay. She is crazy. So I really can't even argue that. But you made her crazy. Like, Veronica is leaving out a lot of pieces of the puzzle at this point. But anyways, so the next thing you know, he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the house. I'm going to get your stuff. But this is where Benny messed up, okay? Benny leans in, gives her a kiss on the cheek, gets her purse, gets her stuff out, gives her a kiss on the cheek, and tells her he'll be back. Benny is playing with her emotions at this point, okay? Like, first of all, she's very emotional. She already feels like you're like her hero in this moment because you saved her from a fire, a burning car, and now you're saying, okay, we ain't really like that. I don't think about you or reminisce about our times, but I'm going to give you a kiss on the cheek before I leave, and then I'm going to go do a favor for you. Like, you're sending mixed signals because, like, that probably made her feel real warm inside. Like, Benny is the type of person that's like overly nice, and you don't realize like you're digging a deeper hole for yourself. He's just like Martin off a thin line between love and hate. I mean, seriously, you're sending all the wrong signals. You're being too nice. Whatever the case, he walks out the room. Mitch is like conveniently waiting outside the room, like, yeah, what's going on? Did you get the check? And he's like, what do you mean did I get the check? And he's like, did you get the check? Because I know she's going to pay you for saving her. And he's like, no, it's not even about that. He's like, look, you don't even have to go to my uncle for this money for this truck. I'm telling you, you can get it from her. Like, this can be your sugar mama. This is your ticket. You've hit the jackpot. Like, you need to take advantage of this. I'm telling you. Benny is like, no, I'm not on that right now. He was like, okay, I'm telling you, I saw the look in her eyes when you saved her from that car. She loves you. Benny's not listening, but he probably should listen. Like, listen, not for her to buy the truck, because I don't think he should do dealings with Veronica either. But he should take heed to the fact that Veronica is getting quite attached to him. Anywho, so, yeah, I done messed up my place on here. Okay. So, next thing you know, we see Landon and Great Value Obama, a.k.a. Charles. So, they are riding in a car after I'm just about to say Obama. Great Value Obama has given this nice speech, and his calendar is cleared for the rest of the day and in the morning. So Landon tells him, hey, I cleared your calendar. You can have a long night. You can celebrate. Charles is like, great, because at this point, I'm just tired. And Landon was like, are you sure? Because you could meet up with a special someone. And then he's like, no, I'm good. I'm tired. And Landon was like, well, I have somebody in mind. We could get a drink. And basically, in this moment, Landon is like directly but still indirectly trying to shoot his shot with Great Value Obama. And Great Value Obama is like not catching this, like the signs. Like he just keeps swerving. Like I don't know if it's on purpose, but he's not getting it. So he's like, no, I'm going to go to sleep. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. Your choice. He's like, but actually, have you heard anything about Candice lately? Then he's like, no. I'm thinking he's talking about Candice. And then he's like, no. He's like, okay, I might need you to go check on her. And he's like, sure. When I finish things on my schedule, I'll get on a flight and go see. So Landon is not very excited about this because he wants him for himself, but he's still Great Value Obama is his boss, and he has to follow his boss's orders. Okay, so then we see Erica. Erica is at the hotel. She walks up to the hotel that Candice is staying in, walks up to Gia, Candice's new bottom girl, and says, like, hands her a shopping bag, like, here's your clothes. If you see Candice, tell her I'm here. I brought it here. I got it to you. And then Gia's like, oh, is Candice your pimp? And then she's like, no, she's not my pimp. I'm like, girl, don't be lying, okay? And Candice is everywhere. She probably heard that, and that's what made her mad. Because right then and there, Candice walks up and was like, while Erica was trying to rush out, and was like, how does it feel to be exposed with nobody watching you? Like, you didn't think that you don't have war around to basically back you up anymore. And she's like basically being like real snappy towards her and being like, watch your back. You need to get on your mission. Get that 100,000 from David. You need to be in a rush. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you better figure it out. So Erica's like, okay, I'm so sorry, and walks out. Then she tells Gia, Candice tells Gia, look, this is the last time you will speak to me in public. You're going to meet me up in the room. You're going to get dressed, and you're going to get to work, okay? When you see me in public, you don't know me. And Gia's like, okay, yes, ma'am. Basically. Then all of a sudden, this guy that's like dressed up real nice and this woman that has on like this form-fitted dress, it seemed as though they were like on a date at the hotel. They walk up to Candice and was like, you're under arrest. Walk with us. We don't want to make a scene. And she's like, excuse me? Why am I under arrest? And he's like, look, you know why you're under arrest. Let's not make a scene. And I'm like, hold on. Even if you are undercover cop, like, you still don't have to read her rights, like, or tell her why she's under arrest. You can't just go around arresting people. And so this is what she's thinking at the same time. And he's like, look, this is a nice establishment. I don't want to make a scene. I am Vice. I already know who you are. We need to go. Go outside with us, and we'll put you in handcuffs outside. So, of course, she was just being a boss in one moment, and now she's being bossed like 2 minutes later. So she doesn't want to make a scene either. So she's like, you know what? Oh, he finally said, because you're accused of robbery. And she says, okay, who said that? And he was like, we have evidence from a guy that you robbed here. Okay, whatever the case. She's like, I didn't do it. She proceeds to go outside with him anyway because she doesn't want to make a scene. So they go outside, and we already know from previews from next week, she'll be in jail next week. Okay. So then we see Hannah and Katherine. This is a real quick scene. They're like in Hannah's house. Katherine comes over to check on her and basically say, hey, I heard you turned Derek down for this coffee date. Why'd you do that? Hannah's like, girl, I'm not in a good place. Stop trying to set me up. The answer is no, no, and no. And don't be trying to sneak him over here or sneak him over to your house. I'm not doing it. I'm not in a good place emotionally. I will come over there later on and help out with your new maid, okay? Other than that, let's just drop this for now. So Katherine tries to pry, but she's like, okay, I get it. Whatever. End of that scene. So then we see Sarah. Sarah that works with at the DA's office with Detective George. She walks into Jim's hotel room. Jim is also confident in this moment. She's basically like, look, I can't stay long. I'm not about that life anymore. I'm a changed woman. I'm actually getting married. He's actually a judge that I'm marrying. I'm a good girl now. And he's like, yeah. No, you're not. You're only a good girl because I wiped your record clean before anyone could see that you used to be a prostitute for me. So, no. But this is what you're going to do. Speaking of records, you're going to make sure there's no record of Wyatt or Jeffrey speaking to Jennifer Salison about giving a statement and testifying against us. You're going to get rid of that, just like I got rid of yours. And if you don't, it'll be all over the news about your past life, and that'll be a story to tell, and that will ruin your life that you have ahead of you and your career. So you're going to do as I say, correct? She tried to fight it a little bit, but eventually she's like, okay, whatever. Then he tells her, go ahead, take off your clothes. She's like, excuse me? I told you I'm getting married. He was like, and I've been married all this time. So then, but she doesn't really fight it a lot. So they both get undressed, and I guess they get down with the get down because the scene fades out. Okay, so next thing you know, we see, Mitch and Benny go to Veronica's house. Mitch is amazed by how this house looks, and he's like, Benny, all of this could be yours if you play your cards right. I'm telling you, man. So while they're talking, Melissa walks in a robe, a silk robe and heels. Yeah, I never know Melissa's intentions at this point, but whatever. And she's like, what are you guys doing here? Oh, Veronica sent you here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm her son's fiance. I've been like cooped up in here, basically, whatever. So what are you guys here for again? Oh, okay. Well, do you find me sexy? Like all of a sudden she just switches up and she like gets all up on Mitch, and Mitch was like, yes, I do. And she's like, oh, okay. So then she was like, I think you're sexy too. Then walks right over to Benny and was like, do you find me sexy? And I'm like, Melissa, what is about to go down? Okay. Like you just went like hopping from friend to friend, like within less than 30 seconds. And so Benny is like, I'm not doing this right now. I came here for a purpose. Where's the room at? And she's like, I'll show you. Okay, so this was perfect for Melissa. So she takes him upstairs to the room. He goes in the closet. He's looking around for stuff. And she's like, thank you so much for telling me I was sexy. I really needed to hear that. I was starting to doubt myself. Jeffrey looks at me like I'm disgusting because, of course, he's not attracted to me. But then she makes me feel horrible. And being cooped up in this house, a woman has needs and womp. Benny is trying not to pay her any attention. At this point, he walks back into the room because he can't find what he's looking for, and she is sitting out on the bed and has taken off her robe completely and has on lingerie. She looks like she's like not even barely pregnant at all, and she's like basically like seducing him. Like this is like a real seductive moment at this point. Well, Benny is weak because Veronica did the same thing to him. Like the same thing. Like everybody gets Benny. Like, yeah. Benny, I guess he's young. Like he's just like, okay, well, if you're throwing it at me, I guess I'll just take it. So this is what he did in this moment. And he wasn't complaining. He's like, wait, Mitch is downstairs. She's like, even better. And of course, we already know that it went down in Veronica's room. But it's like, Benny, like you keep dealing with crazy women. Like you're going to regret this. But whatever the case, that's that. Okay, so then we see Landon. Landon is with some like random lady out to eat, having a drink. At this moment, he starts complaining about Great Value Obama. He's complaining because he's saying he just whines all the time, and he's like keeping up with him is like keeping up with a toddler, and just trying to keep him happy, all this stuff. And he's like, he keeps asking about Candice, and it's ridiculous. By the way, how is that going? So we see this lady is connected to them and Candice. And she's like, it's really hard because she just keeps getting herself into more trouble. So it's hard to keep up with her. So I'm assuming that Great Value Obama, like, basically has somebody watching Candice to make sure she doesn't mess up and to clean up her record as she messes up, because he wants her bad and he wants her in the White House. So you can tell that Landon is salty about that. And the lady he was having dinner with, she can tell as well, because she's like, wow, you want him. You want him really bad. You want him to be melting for you. And he's like, look, I'm not talking about this right now, okay? That's my boss. I'm not talking about this. They finally drop it, and then it goes to the next scene. So this is the last scene. This is Justin showing up to Wyatt's house. He's beating on the door. Wyatt is like, dude, are you serious? Like, you're not coming in here. Justin never takes no for an answer, so he literally breaks in, and he has a crowbar in his hand, okay? He is gone like full on mental at this point, and Justin is like, you're gonna stop calling him? What is going on between you guys? You said you guys were lovers. You need to leave Jeffrey alone, or I'll show you who's boss. I'll show you he's mine. You're not taking him from me. Like, just losing his mind. And Wyatt is like, dude, get out. I'm gonna call the police. And Justin is like, I am the police. And so finally, what's his face? Wyatt like tries to get the crowbar out of his hand, but the crowbar goes like flying across the room, and they end up in a tussle. And it's always bad when they're in a tussle, because either nothing comes out of it or somebody gets like severely hurt by accident. So that is when the episode ends. Of course, we'll see what happens next week. There were some highlights in this week's episode. There were some lowlights, but there were some highlights. Let me know how y'all felt about it. As usual, please like, comment, subscribe, and check me out at mrsblogaholic.com. Bye.